Idology is super stoked to have Angie Miller in the house today.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Just curious, what were you up to before auditioning for Idol? I heard through the grapevine that you had put the idea of college on hold, thinking, let me see if I can make this happen. That's a big risk.
Yeah, huge risk. I mean, I graduated high school in May, and it was kind of like, what am I doing? Am I going to college? And I did college visits and like did all this crazy stuff. And then I found out that American Idol auditions were in New York in a month. And I was like, that whole month I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go to college, audition? And I'm glad I auditioned, that's for sure.
Right, so you get to your audition, Mama Knows Best, and you talked about partial hearing loss in your ears, which is something we didn't really hear about again for the rest of the season, and that's unusual on Idol.
Which is good, yeah.
I've had hearing problems my whole life. I have 40% hearing loss in my left ear and 20 in my right.
It's not like a huge struggle like, oh, I can't hear. Like, no, I'm used to it. Like, I've grown used to it. It's not a huge problem. It's just, I'm used to having a bit of hearing loss, and it's just, I don't want to make it this huge sob story. Like, no, I didn't want that.
Was it ever an issue for you when you got to the big stage?
Well, I mean, we use in-ears on the stage, and I couldn't use it in my left ear because of just ear stuff, but the music was really loud in my right ear, and it just but like the first week, like top 10, it was weird getting used to the in-ears and everything, but I don't know, I just got used to it.
So we've got to talk about group rounds, because you were with Kezban,
Yep.
who's a fascinating character.
Well, it's 6:15, breakfast started at 6, and she's still not here yet.
And with Janelle and Brianna, so it was a pretty powerhouse top four, but it looked like it was headed for disaster. And I think even when they showed the actual performance, I was like, oh, like that sounds like 4 different parts clashing, and then the judges were like, best thing ever.
Yeah, okay, shocking. We were all literally going into that expecting like, all right, well, this is my first year and I'm getting cut in Hollywood Week, like whatever. And Janelle had done this 2 years before, and she was just like, we're that group that they're gonna make fun of, we're gonna go home, whatever. We get on stage, and then when Nicki Minaj stood up and they were all clapping, we were like, what?
You were the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Oh, it just happened.
What just happened, right?
How scary is that, you know, to feel like your fate is being judged based on the work of 4 people? You can't.
It's scary. It stinks, because it's like if one person doesn't practice hard enough and doesn't put their all into it, then it affects the whole group. And I don't know, it's hard, especially since it's so early on in the competition. You don't know anyone yet.
Right.
So it's like you meet them and you have to be forced to get along with them like right away. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's harder.
You find me here alone.
So you Set Me Free as your final Hollywood solo. 3.7 million YouTube hits later.
I hear a voice that's so unknown.
Good Lord.
I would imagine on some level going in and saying, I'm going to play my own song is a little bit of a risk, because I'm sure most people like to think that their writing is going to be great, but you don't know. And then you're playing it in front of 4 industry professionals. They might have just been like, oh, I don't know about this girl's writing, but it blows up and becomes this huge morning after thing.
I had written that like two months beforehand or something, and I had only sang it once. Like once in front of people.
Really?
That's it. I didn't know yet if it was like really a good song or not. And that night, the night before I did it, we had to meet with vocal coaches and sing our song to them, whatever. And I look at him and I was just like, tell me if this song is terrible, because I don't know. Just say if I should do it or not.
Was this with Michael Orland?
This was actually with Matt.
Okay.
Tell me if it's terrible. Tell me if I should do it. I play it once and he was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you should definitely do this song. It's good. And I was like, okay. All right, okay, I will. Okay.
You come with open arms.
And the morning after it aired, it was like, okay, here's one of our front runners for this season.
Yeah.
Did you sort of like do a little Google searching the next morning?
Yes, I did. Of course I did. That's when the American Idol journey for me really came to life, and it was like, wow, I actually have a chance at this now.
So Vegas top 40 round, you do Nobody's Perfect. And there were some people that were like, this is Angie's 3rd Jessie J cover out of 5 performances that we've seen. Was there any, oh boy, I don't want people to think I'm like, you know, single white femaling Jessie J right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to, like, Jessie J is a huge inspiration for me, but I don't want to be her. I want to be, she just inspires me a lot, and I love her songs. And given the amount of time that we had to just like show America who we are as a person, I just want to be able to show them songs that I can relate to, and her songs I can relate to.
Is that your #1 criteria in song choice, actually being able to believe it and feel it.
The 1 week that I did Shop Around and completely screwed everything up, I think that goes to show that meaning was not a meaning that I would want on my album or anything, you know?
Yeah,
so,
it's not very you.
No, it's not me at all. The message of it isn't me.
I doubt your mama even told you to shop around. It just seems
No.
seems unlikely at best.
Yeah.
So top 20 week, you do Never Gone, which to me on paper is a risky move because it's a newish song. It's a song that's a Christian radio hit, but maybe not everybody knows. But I think when you look closer, it's a smart risk because Colton is very near and dear to the Idol audience. And it's a guy's song.
People loved him, and when he did that song on tour, everybody loved it. And he never did it on the show, he just did it on the tour. It's not hugely well known, so it's kind of like I could put my own spin on it and people wouldn't criticize me for that. I actually covered it on YouTube before I did it on the show, and he saw it and commented on my YouTube channel. And
Did he really?
Yeah. Before it released as a single, I saw him on tour and I recorded it, and I was like, I want to cover this song, and I learned it based off of the recording, and he wrote on it, he was like, you're good, like we should work together in the future, and who would have known? So
you did I Surrender for Music of the Idols week, and there was that one little soundbite where I think you said something like,
I think that I can sing it as well as Kelly did.
And people were like, oh, like you can't say that about Kelly.
Oh gosh, I didn't know that. But I didn't mean it as like a negative thing. Meant it as a good thing.
You weren't trying to take Kelly down.
No, I was not trying to take Kelly down. Would never want to.
I just hope to show that amount of passion that she showed.
Around top 10, top 9 week is when you started getting the comments about too theatrical or theatricality. And I think Jimmy at one point was like,
sometimes when you come on, I feel like I've tuned into a beauty pageant.
What do you do with that information?
I never thought beauty pageant or Disney princess, or I never thought any of those. Those always really confused me because I feel like I'm not like that. I'm like the edgy black, like I don't think I'm Disney princess. Or,
you never wore like Belle, you know, Beauty and the Beast type gown.
Oh, right. But now looking back at it, especially, I agree with the being like maybe too theatrical, too dramatic. And it took, I think it took until like top 6 or top 5 to really understand how to show emotion without being too overly dramatic.
I think there's an aspect too of the camera. You know how to play to the camera, I think, a lot more than some contestants do. Is that just something that you're naturally good at? Did you have on-camera experience prior to that?
Not so much. I was in theater, and that has a lot with like connecting with the audience, not so much camera, but yeah, I don't know really what helped me so much with that. I've done covers on YouTube, and I've done like, you know, realizing that the camera's there.
Right.
But other than that, not so much camera work.
Yeah. You mentioned Shop Around. Did you come out of that week feeling like, okay, I need to reestablish and reprove myself? I don't want to be the early elimination, you know, the shock boot of the season.
Definitely.
And you did Bring Me to Life. It was supposed to be Classic Rock Week, and then it got changed to Rock Week, and you're the only one who didn't do Classic, so I'm assuming, did you just say, I've got to do this song?
I didn't. No, I did. Well, because when they gave us, like, you know, they gave us a theme, and there's, like, songs and stuff to choose from and whatnot, so I saw that on the list, and, like, there were so many, like, classic rock songs, you know, and I'm just, that's not, I don't know, I didn't really connect to any classic rock songs. I didn't grow up listening to it or anything, so... but I saw Bring Me to Life, and that's like so much more modern than all the other ones, and I was just like, that's it, that's me, I gotta do that.
Are you hoping that in a post-Idol career that you can sort of merge those two sides of things?
Definitely.
Are you going to rock out a little bit?
I like the soul, the piano, and then I like the edgy side of things too, so I want to like mush those together in an album.
That was a good week for you with your solo, but you also had the duet with Lazaro, who forgot quite a few of his lyrics. And he'd forgotten his lyrics in his group performance the previous week. Were you sort of bracing for that?
Neither of us knew the song, so I mean, yeah, it was definitely like we had to learn it. We had to make sure we learned the lyrics, and I think at one point we both looked at each other and we were like, okay, we actually have to do this now. We need to treat the duet as if it's a solo.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a lot better than the boys group the week prior. But
I think it's because you kept singing though, mostly. There weren't as large the gaps because I felt like you kind of just thought, well, I better pick up this.
I definitely learned the whole song just in case there were any lyric mess ups, and we would have backed up each other. But for the most part, I think it was It was good. It was good. We remembered most of our lyrics. And
You're diplomatic. You did Love Come Down for top 6 week. Now this to me was a pretty big risk because again, you know,
no one knew it really.
Song I Wish I Wrote.
I don't want to be like just a good singer or just a good performer, whatever. Like I want to be like an artist, someone who really appreciates the music and appreciates the lyrics and just everything all together. And so that week, it took me so long to pick a song. I feel so bad for the Idol production because they were like, what do you want to sing, what do you want to sing? Because it's so important to me, a song you wish you'd written, a song that you wish like those lyrics came from you and that sound came from you. That was hard for me to choose, but when I thought of that song, I was just like, yes, like the meaning, the sound, like everything was just really me.
Love came down and it set me free.
And I feel like every few weeks, at least, you tried to get in a little bit of message of spirituality and about God and sort of make that part of what you're about. Was it important to be able to have that happening lyrically?
Definitely, because I'm not going to go down the Christian genre. I'm not going to be in the Christian world. So I still want to, through my songs, have some sort of, not being like, oh, Jesus, 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 but just like, you know, the songs are going to come from my heart and that's my heart. So lyrics and meaning behind things are totally going to be like have the spiritual meaning to things.
I am forever yours.
I'm Haley Steinfeld and you're watching ENTV.
Hi, my name is Kiernan Shipka and you're watching ENTV.
Aubrey Plaza, ENTV. I just touched it with my mouth, sorry.